There and gist and take shots with your phone, that is madness. Yes, run away. It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised. When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do? Scooping fuel in your bucket or running far away from impending fire? You have a few seconds to take the wisest decision. Walk away? No, that is not enough. Shift? No, that is not enough. Stay there and gist and take shots with your phone? That is madness. Run. Yes, run away. Yes, your life depends on your action. The flames come suddenly, unexpected but uncontrollable. Why? Fuel is highly inflammable. Why? It just requires a spark to set off a ravaging inferno. So, don't stay there to think. Storm away to live. Do not throw away your life in anguish for meaningless fuel siphoning. Be advised.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Sport Daily on Sumtv, where we bring you sport news, sport analysis, and predictions from different sports across the globe. I remain your host, Emmanuel Wakili, popularly known as Buje, and in the studio with me is our regular guest in person of Emmanuel Fuachabe, a sport analyst who has made so many analysis on different sports, various sports across the globe, and also he's good with making match predictions. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me today.
First of all, let's dive into the just completed Champions League league phase of the Champions League. We saw Liverpool, Barcelona, and other teams thriving and making it straight into the round of 16, where they will wait for other 8 teams to join them from the knockout phase. Liverpool started with a good run. They were actually unbeaten in the Champions League until the last match against PSV. And also, Barcelona will have seized that opportunity to go top of the Champions League table. But then they drew their match and they ended up second on the table. We also have Arsenal and Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, Bayern Leverkusen, Lille, and Aston Villa in the top 8 who have made it so far. What can you say so far about the Champions League league phase on the conclusion? Do you have any surprises? Is there any team you feel is supposed to be at this top 8 who is not there? Are you surprised by the results so far?
Yeah, so the result was very, very surprising. Seeing the calibers of teams that make it to that top the league from number 1 to 8. You just the top teams there are only, let me just say, Barcelona, Liverpool, and the likes of Arsenal, Inter Milan. Then new faces such as Lille, Aston Villa, Bayern Leverkusen making it to the top 8. Then teams like Real Madrid, Man City, PSG, AC Milan, Borussia Dortmund, Bayern Munich. These are teams that we constantly see them making waves in the Champions League. But if you see recently, the teams are not performing optimally. So to say, they are not performing optimally. That is why you see them fumbling, and that is why they are playing in the knockout stage. The playoff now. The playoff now. So, and regarding the last matches, that I do not see much surprising, because most majority of the top 8 teams have already qualified. So, as a manager, it will be very bad decision for you to take to start with your top players. That was why you see the likes of Liverpool losing that match, even though Barcelona start with majority of their star players, but there is no energy in the game, intensity in the game. They played the game lackadaisically because they have already qualified,
Yes.
and they don't want to put more energy. And once they put more energy, they will end up maybe one player being injured or one key player being injured. So
Yes.
which is not supposed to be so. And we have already qualified. So why do we need to put more energy on something that even we win or we lose, we have already, it doesn't matter. So that is why you see the likes of Liverpool losing that match, and Barcelona drawing that match. But if you check, you will see teams such as Real Madrid, teams such as Man City, teams such as PSG. These are teams that needed the win, and they won their matches. Because if they should not win that matches, it means that they will not qualify for the playoff. So they needed that win, and you can see they put more energy, intensity, and they won the match. Like Man City, we are losing 1-0 first half.
Yes.
So but they came back to won the match 3 goals to 1.
Because they
needed the win. The most importantly, they needed the win. So that is why. And it will be a very fierce competition in the playoff. We'll see the likes of Manchester City meeting.
Which team will you say surprises you the most, whether in a good performance, by their good performance, or by a bad performance in the Champions League league phase this season?
Okay, so the team that surprised me the most is Aston Villa. Aston Villa. If you check Aston Villa's trajectory in the Premier League, Aston Villa are playing woefully in the Premier League. But coming to the Champions League now, I can bet you Aston Villa are one of the best team in the Champions League this season. They played. Look at the big teams that Aston Villa won.
They won almost all the
big teams they faced. And they are, if you check, most of the time is from behind. They will come back and win the game. So Aston Villa is one of the teams that shocked me the most. And another team that I do not expect, despite the fact that is, I would say, Manchester City and Real Madrid. So these are teams that I expect to see them in the top eight. But they were not playing up to expectation in the group stage.
Yeah, but don't you think even before the introduction of the league phase in the Champions League, Real Madrid normally struggle in the group stage? Don't you look at it like that?
Real Madrid, but they always top their group. Just checked it. They always top their group, or they come second.
Yes, but they don't win conveniently. Currently, if you check how Real Madrid play their football currently, they play football, but they don't win comfortably. They struggle to win in most of their matches this season.
But before the change of the Champions League playing system,
yes.
But Real Madrid do always come out of group stage. We don't see them going to.
Yes, they
always, because I can guess it's from first and second team that will make it to the round of 16.
Yes.
Then the top. So Real Madrid have always been there So they will win. It's either they top the group or they come second. They top the group or they come second. So they are playing very nice as of before. But now we see them fumbling in the Champions League, and which lead them to go and play the playoff in the league, and they are facing Manchester City.
Okay, I was expecting you will mention probably RB Leipzig as one of the worst teams that have performed that underperformed in the Champions League league phase, and maybe you also mention Lille, who have managed to finish at the top 8 of the Champions League.
Lille are people that have been showing. The reason why I did not pick Lille is because Lille have been showing presence in the Champions League. When you check the champion for the past 5 years, Lille have been showing presence in the Champions League. But you can't say that to Aston Villa. For the past 5 years, Aston Villa have nowhere to be found in the Champions League. So this is one is for the past 5 years. This is their first time of appearing in the Champions League, and they make it out. Looking the calibers of teams, the draws that we have, it's not like before that we said, okay, now each team will have a group for it, and the first 2 in the group will qualify. This is all teams playing, and they top the table. They make it to the
first 8 matches.
After playing 8 matches, they make it to the first 8. You understand? So these are people that have not been. Champions League has one mentality that the more you played, the more you have the experience, and the more you can play the game.
Of course.
So, and these are people that they just show it for a long period of time. They were nowhere to be found in the Champions League, and when they come, see them doing wonders in the Champions League.
So we say Aston Villa have a record of winning the Champions League? They are pass holders of the trophy. Can we say it's probably that spirit of Champions League that is still in them, which has enabled them to perform well in the Champions League, even though they are fumbling in Premier League?
But majority of their players doesn't have that experience of playing Champions League. That's so to say. So that is why I was curious and I was shocked seeing them topping among the top 8. The majority of their players lack experience of playing Champions League, and this is their first time for over, let me don't say 5 years, for over 10 years, man. I think this is their first time of appearing in the Champions League. So, and you see them performing this wonder. So I was shocked seeing them in that position.
All right, let's dive in and look at the fixtures of the Champions League. The Champions League will continue on the 11th of February, which is on Tuesday. We see Brest meeting PSG, and Juventus against PSV. Brest and PSG are from the same local league.
Yes.
They are both from League One. Do you think there will be any surprises?
There will not be much surprises because PSG now has advantage over them, because if you check their game, PSG have been winning their game against Bright by almost with a wide margin. So it will not be like a headache for PSG, because this is one of the, let me just say, a bonus to PSG. But PSG we should not put us into shame, because they love doing things like that. You just see them matches that you don't expect PSG to lose. That is the matches you will see PSG losing. Even their previous game, I think PSG won Bright by 2-5.
Yes.
Yeah, so by 2-5. So that is it. So you see, it's like an easy game for PSG. So I see PSG moving to the next round of the game.
Okay. We also see Juventus facing off PSV.
Okay. So that match will also be one of it will be a tough match for Juventus, because Juventus are not in good form, and
we saw PSV are the only team to defeat Liverpool in the
Champions League. Yes, they are the only team to defeat Liverpool in the Champions League, and you see them, they are playing very well. They have that intensity and they have that mentality. They are Champions League teams to say, because they year in year out they do appear in the Champions League. And Juventus currently are fumbling, but Juventus have that advantage over PSG. But they should not expect a simple match in that game. They should expect one of the tough match for them. So I see a tough match by Juventus playing PSG.
Okay, well said. So it will be a tough match. Okay. But then, what is your prediction? If you have to give a prediction of correct score, maybe for the first leg.
Okay, for the first leg, I give Juventus to win by 2-1.
Well,
yes, Juventus to win by 2-1.
All right, then we'll see about that.
Yes.
So the most expected and anticipated match is between Manchester City and Real Madrid. What do you think will be the outcome of this fixture?
So currently, Manchester City are not in their best form. They are struggling, so to say. So it will be a tough match for them, to be honest.
Yes, but as of last season, we can arguably say these are the two heavyweights.
These are the two
in the world of football.
Yes, in the world of football. And currently, they are not ready to be. They are struggling. Let's just be realistic. They are struggling. But Manchester City is struggling more than Real Madrid, right? But that is. But we should not. This is match between two experienced coach and two experienced team. So anything can happen. So yes, you should not be. Between Madrid and Man City, they played like, if you meet this season, I will remove you out of the Premier League, Champions League. Sorry, next season when we meet, I will remove you. So that is the game. So last season we see Madrid passing. That is removing Man City from the Champions League through a penalty kick. So this season, Man City will do everything possible to also to maintain that record that they are doing. Yes. So if you check their record,
about 4 consecutive times
now. So and you will see them. If Madrid is either this season, Real Madrid will remove Man City from the Champions League. When they meet next season, Man City will remove Real Madrid. When they meet the next season, that is how they are doing. So this game, even though Man City are struggling, but the game will be a tough one for Madrid to say, because if you check this is one of the teams that give Madrid tough time in the Champions League. When you check,
I was expecting you say it would be an easy win for Real Madrid because of the way Manchester City have been struggling. And in fact, the match between Manchester City and Arsenal yesterday was another proof to us that Manchester City really have a long way to go. But I understand that you're a Pep Guardiola fan. You're a fan of Manchester City.
No, it's not like, see, even as I'm a Manchester City fan, history do play out itself also. You understand, but history do play out itself. And Manchester City and Real Madrid, these are teams that when they meet themselves, anything can happen. Anything can happen. So you may be saying that, okay, Madrid will win Manchester City by maybe a wide margin. Then that day you just see they play either draw or Man City winning, or maybe Madrid win by maybe 2-1.
We always know that football happens in the game of football.
Yes.
Teams you expect to win end up losing the match, or they don't win easily.
Yes.
In the fixture. But then we always make our own predictions from the past matches which we have seen players play. Yes. And so far, I really believe Manchester City don't stand a chance against Real Madrid. And if I'm to make my prediction, Real Madrid will flog Manchester City home and away in this knockout phase.
Okay, we hope to see so. That is next week. So by next week, we'll see what we play.
All right. Moving forward, we have Club Brugge against Atalanta. Atalanta have shown prospect in this Champions League, and we should also remember that Atalanta are currently the holders of the Europa League. Yeah. Do you think Atalanta have something to show for in this Champions League this season?
Atlanta, they are playing very well. When you see their game against Barcelona, you see that there is intensity in the game. It's just that they lack. One of their key players was not there to help them in that game. They could have won Barcelona that game. So Ademola Lukman, is in his best form. So when we see him in the playoff stage, when he's fit for the game, they will give Club Brugge one of their life shocker to say, because Atlanta is one of the teams you watch. That match, when you watch their match against Barcelona, you see the intensity. They are a team that love attacking. They love attacking. They love attacking football. So the Club Brugge will see more of that in their game. So I see Atlanta winning that game by 3-1.
All right. Well said. We also have a fixture between Celtic and Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, these are teams that it was expected would finish at the top 8 of the Champions League group phase, league phase rather. But then we see them finishing beyond the top 8 this season. And now they have to play the knockout phase, the playoffs before they promote
to the knockout stage.
Eventually, if they get to win the knockout phase. So do you think there will be any surprises between Bayern Munich and Celtic? Because I know most football fans out there believe that this should be an easy game for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, it's an easy game for Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich are winning the game. So when you see Celtic are not in their best form, and Bayern Munich too are not in their best form, but Bayern Munich will edge pass Celtic in that game. So I see Bayern Munich winning that game by a wide margin, so to say.
All right, let's talk about the local league. First of all, let's start off with the Premier League. We saw Nottingham Forest. Let's start with the Nottingham Forest game against Brighton. Nottingham Forest, this is a team that just lost their previous match before day before yesterday. They lost to Bournemouth, who are currently the two underdogs in the Premier League. They lost to their fellow underdogs 5-0, and then they came back with a shocker, thrashing Brighton 7-0.
Yes. So when you see Nottingham Forest are playing one of their best seasons. This is one of their best seasons, so to say. They are playing very well. If you see their games, they virtually give everybody tough time. It is only against Bournemouth that it came as a shocker to all of us and to them also. Them losing 5-0, even without maybe let's say scoring a goal in that match. So Nottingham Forest are playing well, and if you see their games, even in that game that they lost, not that they do not play, they played the game, but there was no goals. They couldn't score goals in that match. So I think there was anger, and so they decided to pour it out for Brighton. So Brighton Brighton were not lucky to face them, because when you check Nottingham Forest matches, you will see the intensity, the desire to do something.
Well, that's it. You said the match came as a shocker to most people, but I don't think I'm included in those people, because before the match, we had our daily sports news on the station, and I said Bournemouth are going to trash Nottingham Forest in that particular match, and then it happened. Even though I wasn't expecting Bournemouth to score up to 5 goals against Nottingham Forest, but I knew Bournemouth were going to win that match against Nottingham Forest.
These are teams that are playing very well this season in the Premier League. This is one of their best seasons. So them meeting themselves, so we expect the score to be either a draw or maybe 2-1 or 1-0, something like that.
Yes.
But by 5-0, nobody expects that Bournemouth will score Nottingham Forest in this form by 5-0. You understand? So that was why I said virtually all of us are shocked by the goal margin. But people have that people have that let's say mindset that okay, now Bournemouth can walk past Nottingham Forest, uh, looking at what Bournemouth are doing. So, but by that margin of goals, I think nobody expect that margin of goal though.
All right. Another shocker, I believe, is between the clash of Newcastle and Fulham. Newcastle have been in a tremendous form recently. We've seen Isaac, who is their attacker, their on-form attacker, if I should put it right, who have been scoring week in, week out in the Premier League and every other competition. He has won the Premier League Player of the Month, and also their manager won the Premier League Manager of the Month. But then we see them failing to seize a win against Fulham. Okay. Was that expected?
Okay, so there was one day we were in this studio and we were making prediction about the top four, and I told you that I do not see Newcastle giving any challenge to anything like they want to make the top four, because based on their previous trajectory, the way they played, they don't show that intensity. That was why I make that statement, and you can see I'm being proven right. They have been fumbling of recently, and they were nowhere to be found now in the top four. So you see, so that is why I said the other time I said I do not see Newcastle giving maybe Liverpool a fair fight in that fight for top four or fight for the league. So when you see them now, they were nowhere to be found in the Premier League, and they ended up losing 3-1 against Fulham. So you can see, so they are not team that they are just team that they will form for a short period of time and they will go back to their normal status of being an average team that will just play we just want to maintain the Premier League spot. We don't want to go to relegation. We just want to maintain the Premier League spot. That is how I saw them for now.
Newcastle.
Yes.
All right then. Talking about the underdogs in the Premier League this season, one of the underdogs have been put under the scoreline by Liverpool this weekend, which is Bournemouth. Bournemouth have proven to be stubborn this season in the Premier League. No big team in the Premier League this season, except for Liverpool this weekend.
Yes. You see, Liverpool are in their best form of the season. So I do not expect any team will just win Liverpool so easily.
But you know, getting started at the season, or back to the start of the season, Liverpool were not among the favorites to win the title, don't you think? Because some of their major players were transferred out of the team. And then their coach, who have been a hook in the neck of Pep Guardiola, who has been the most informed coach in the Premier League, left the club. So nobody thought Liverpool would do what they are doing currently in the Premier League.
No,
but then, surprisingly,
no, you can't say nobody. Like for someone like me, let me just say, it's just like, let's say I saw Liverpool doing something. So the two teams I make prediction of winning the Premier League this season was Manchester City or Liverpool. These are the two teams I see winning I first of all gave Manchester City added on top of Liverpool. I said if Manchester City will win the league, will win the league. But if Manchester City should not win the league, the next team I see winning the league is Liverpool, because I do not see team like Arsenal, team like Manchester United or Chelsea winning the league this season. So these are the two teams I see winning the league. So when I see Liverpool putting these waves, I know that okay, now they are ready for it, and I do not see Liverpool giving it so easily right now, because the gap now, Arsenal have won their match against Manchester City yesterday, so they have closed the gap, and you don't expect Liverpool to slack also. So Liverpool needed to win that match
against Bournemouth.
Against Bournemouth.
Well, that was a straight bullet taken at Manchester United, Chelsea, and Arsenal fans.
No, I do not see them winning, because when you see them, they don't look like teams that want to win something currently. So maybe moving forward, not this season per se, but maybe next season or season after
But
next.
Arsenal has been given.
No, when you are talking about teams that will put a fair fight, we are calling Arsenal. Arsenal is team that will win this match today. Next match will not win. Okay, now say they have won Manchester City. Yes. Then watch out for their next match. You see them. It's either they draw the match or they lose the match.
Well, this is a strong prediction.
Arsenal are not consistent. They are not consistent with the. Okay, now just looked at last season against Manchester City. Manchester City walked past them and won the league. Last upper season against Manchester City walked past them and won the league. So, and you expect them to fight, to put a fair fight with a team like Liverpool that are currently unbeaten in almost getting to 10 matches in the Premier League.
All right, I guess we'll see about that.
Yes, no, me, I don't see they will not win. So it's not something that we will see about that. I see Liverpool winning the league this season. So Arsenal, you should not put them into consideration. So they will make top 4, but I do not see them winning the league.
All right, let's see. We also saw Crystal Palace and Manchester United. Manchester United lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace. Was there anything surprising?
No, that Manchester United, they are even lucky man to go to end the game by 2 goals to nil.
So I say Crystal Palace will have scored
Crystal Palace will have scored more goals. Manchester United are currently an average, average team, and their average team, they're just struggling. Them too, they have come back to the status of let's just struggle and make. We should show our presence in the Premier League, but we don't want to win anything anymore. So that is their status now.
Crystal Palace were under Manchester United in the table, but this win against Manchester United has been able to move them ahead of Manchester United.
Yes, because they needed to they needed to win. They needed to win, and currently Manchester United are not performing very well. They are under form. They don't perform very well. So you expect teams that are very serious to win them. And yesterday it was a shocker for them, and it's a double shock for them because they lost the match and one of their key players, in person of Martinez, was injured. So it's another setback for the team. So this is someone that is like coordinating the defense. They should know coordinating the defense so that he has been in good form.
Even though the team is generally
even at that, yes, the team is generally in bad form and he has been in good form. That is why you see them not conceding as much goals as possible. But for him going on injury now, I bet you will see Manchester United conceding like plenty more goals. Like,
so does that mean woe unto Manchester?
No, woe unto Manchester United. Now, if they are not careful, I see them even going on relegation. If they are not careful, yes, now because this is it. You have not now. This is the second leg. You have not played the second leg against teams like Liverpool, against teams like Arsenal,
and
against teams like they are sitting currently in the 13th place.
But I don't see the possibility of Manchester United for a team like Manchester United to go to relegation. I don't know.
You will see. This is it. This is it. If Manchester United are winning the small boys in the league, you can say okay now we will. Say they will still be in the league, but the small teams they are losing, the big teams they are losing. So
but there are worse teams in the Premier League. Teams like Southampton, who have only won 2 games in the Premier League, Ipswich Town, Leicester City. These are other even worse. As a matter of fact, these are teams that have been performing really bad in the Premier League. So I don't see any possibility of Manchester United going on relegation.
Okay, so if they want to maintain that, so they need to put more effort. It's not there. They have not been. They are playing very woefully. You will see there is no intensity. There is no desire to win any match in them. So and that is
And they just changed their coach recently.
Manchester United problem is not about the coach or the coach per se. I think their problem is an internal issue from the board. So that is what I can say about Manchester United. Their problem is an internal issue from the board. So the board need to work on themselves. So, but you have understand? They have changed how many coach now? The same thing, no result. So
yes, and there have been so many complaints about how the team, the system of the club is. And I think it's right from the board, because we've seen players and coaches complain about how the management of the team operates.
Yeah,
we've seen what Ronaldo did before leaving, his contract was terminated. It was terminated because he went and said a lot of allegations against Manchester United board. So obviously the issue is now with the coach or the players, because we've seen them change their squad, change their players, but then to no avail. Well, maybe there's so many changes that needs to be done on the management.
Yeah, I think so. So many changes need to be done on the board. Yeah.
All right. Now the biggest match so far of the weekend is between Arsenal and Manchester City. The match started with Arsenal scoring an early goal in the second minute when Odegaard found the back of the net. But then going into halftime, the score was still 1-0 until the second half, where 5 goals were scored.
4 goals, sorry, in the second half. It was 4 goals.
4 goals.
Yes, Arsenal scored 4 goals in the second half now. So the first half was 1-0, I think so. Yes, the first half was 1-0. Then when they came back the second half, Manchester City now equalized. Then they ended up scoring 4 additional goals to make it 5-1.
Yes, well, that is 5 goals in the second half. Yeah. 4 goals from Arsenal, 1 goal from Man City.
Yeah.
So 5 goals from second half.
Yeah. So Manchester City are not in their current form. So I'd not expect to see the
But they won their last 2 matches.
Manchester City are not in their current form. I'd not expect them to win Arsenal per se. But
what about Chelsea?
And Chelsea too are fumbling. Chelsea are fumbling, and Chelsea striker is one of the worst striker in the Premier League. So you don't even if at all Chelsea striker were serious in that match, Chelsea would have won Manchester City.
Yes,
obviously, because to be honest, Chelsea. I am a Manchester City fan. To be honest, in that match, if at all Chelsea strikers were clinical like Haaland, they could have won that match. It's just that Chelsea striker were not clinical,
because Chelsea had
more chances than Manchester City.
Chances
than
Manchester City.
The reason why Manchester City were able to win that match that day was that their striker Haaland was very clinical that day. If you check him,
yes, we saw what he did with Sanchez,
and the assist he gave to Foden. So that is it. That was the reason why Manchester City won that match. It's not about this thing. And this match, Arsenal have one of the clinical attackers in the in the league. Despite the fact that Manchester City had the position, they played the position, but they were not clinical.
They didn't get the chances.
The chances were not there.
Because
the chances were not there.
Arsenal doesn't only have one of the best attackers.
They have the best defenders. One of the best. And Manchester City currently are struggling in their midfield role. So I don't know. When the transfer window was open, we were thinking that Guardiola will go for midfielders, because Kovacic was playing basically nothing in that midfield. You cannot see what Kovacic is playing. It's just...
Well, I don't agree with you. I think currently Kovacic is playing out of position.
Which position is he playing normally?
Kovacic is playing as a defending midfielder.
Yes, currently he's playing
Kovacic has not been a defending midfielder. Kovacic is always a central midfielder.
So what is the difference between a central midfielder and a defensive midfielder?
The difference between a central midfielder is the central midfielder plays from the center and to the attacking position.
And so this is
the defending midfielders play from the
This is it
center
now.
to the defending position.
This is it now. This is it now. In Manchester City, you don't expect someone like Kovacic to play the central midfield.
Well, they don't have any defending midfielder. That's why Kovacic is playing.
And basically, he's not playing anything. That was why the defensive line of Manchester City are struggling. They are experiencing.
Well, I think
more pressure is on the defense. You know, when you have a good holding midfielder, the pressure on the defenders will not be much. But currently now, more pressure is on the Manchester City defense.
Yes, because he's playing out of position.
He's playing he's playing nothing. He's playing nothing. So you can't expect. You cannot tell me that because okay now they say necessity is the mother of all invention. So currently Rodri is injured, and we needed someone to play that four. And him, Kovacic cannot play that central that attacking midfield than De Bruyne.
So you think Kovacic is the problem of the team?
It's not that. I'd not say Kovacic is the problem of the team per se, but Kovacic is not playing to expectation.
Who else do you think in the team is playing to expectations?
It's one of the positions that are not playing to expectation. You see, Kovacic that defensive midfield for one. Then the Walker position is another place that is not playing to expectation. You know, Walker was exhausted and to an extent he was committing a lot of errors. That was why they needed to let him go, because he has already played everything for the team and he is of age, and that position requires someone to be physically fit and mentally fit, something like that.
Yes,
and Walker is not that person to do that job any longer, so they needed to let him go. That was why you see they signed the new defenders. And another mistake, I don't know what Guardiola is doing. He's playing this guy in that position. What is that his name? Nunes.
Yes,
he's playing Nunes in that position, and you can see what Nunes is doing. Nunes is also contributing to the fault in that defensive line. You see him giving silly pass to an extent that on the norms, games that they don't supposed to lose, you see them losing that game because of his
but did you make any mistake from yesterday's match?
No, I'm not saying he make a mistake from yesterday's match, but if you checked the previous match, even that Manchester United match that they lost against Manchester United,
yes,
it was Nunes that caused the match, him and Walker.
Yes.
So you see that it was them.
I agree.
Yeah, because they are the people that committed those silly missing pass to Ahmed Diallo from the equalizer to the winning goal.
So currently, you mean that there is no player in Manchester City playing to expectation?
No, see, currently now there is no player playing to expectation. They are just managing to win games.
Well, we see Haaland scoring goals.
That is it. You don't expect Haaland on a no. When Haaland is fit, Haaland score goals like virtually every game. But you don't see him scoring goals. Like he will just score once in a blue moon.
Okay. Talking about Manchester City, what do you think about the form of Foden yesterday?
See that I see Manchester City player currently now. I don't know what they are playing. You can see their game against PSG. They are winning the game by 2 goals to nil. Before you know, PSG now won them by 4 goals to 2. You can't expect, and you cannot just say this is what is wrong with the player. The player will start playing well in the match, but before 90 minutes, you just see them fumbling. You will not expect. Is it that Rodri is not in the match? That is why they are fumbling or doing those kind of things. It's not. You can't even have. So me, what I would say is that is deformed, and the players need to rest. These are people that have given a fair fight in the Premier League for over 6 seasons now. They have been in the top form for over 6 seasons now. So you expect things like this to happen. I think this is one of the things that I think is happening to them because of they have been in form for a long period of time. It has not happened in the Premier League for a team to win 4 Premier League in a row. It has not happened.
Yeah.
So and you see the nature of the Premier League. This is a league that is physical, and there is much energy to win the Premier League. It's not something that you just walked up and do it. But these people did this thing for 4 consecutive seasons. So you expect them to fumble. They have given all of their energy in
Yes,
that
and
match.
we've been giving them their flowers.
Yes.
They deserve every praise they
And
can
you get, and
especially
even at that, even the fumbling that they are doing currently, you can see them in the top 4. Even at that, so they are, so we do not go if, like as a fan, we expect to see them winning, because as a fan we want to see them winning trophies. But that does not mean that when they are fumbling also we should not talk. Currently
talking
they are
about
fumbling.
top four. Chelsea will meet West Ham later today, and if eventually Chelsea happens to win that match, Chelsea will be back
To the
in
top 4.
fourth place in the Premier League table, and then Man City will have to drop to the
Fifth.
fifth. Do
Will
you think we'll drop to the fifth? Do you think?
will Chelsea win the match? There is another question, because Chelsea are not good with playing West Ham. Check
You
that.
think so?
Yes, now check that. When Chelsea were in their form, when Chelsea were at form, West Ham is one of the teams that normally give Chelsea problem. Just check it now.
But recently, Chelsea have been getting the better side of
West Ham. So we hope to see them, but as a fan, I don't want to see Chelsea winning the game. But as a Man City fan, I don't want to see Chelsea winning the game.
But the way Man City are struggling, do you feel Man City will end up in the top 4 of the Premier League this season?
Oh no, Man City are making top 4. That one is a short thing.
So what about Chelsea?
Man City are making top 4. That one is a short thing. So I can bet you for that. Man City are making top 4, but Chelsea, I don't see Chelsea making top 4.
You don't think?
I don't see. So if Chelsea will make that top 4, I see Man City advancing to the 3rd place, or maybe 2nd.
So you feel Nottingham Forest have the chances of dropping?
Yes, Nottingham Forest have the chances of dropping.
All right. Well, we'll see to that.
Yes.
And we've come to the end of Sport Daily today, with many predictions being said, especially in the Champions League and the Premier League. We hope to see the result after those matches, and continue to stay with us, viewers, on Sumtv for Sport Daily every day by 11 a.m. Thank you.
When a tanker bearing fuel falls or an underground pipe bearing fuel bursts, what do you do?